afternoon. It's truly a pleasure to host the first panel for today, and this is the first time for me in Abu Dhabi. Most of the time, I've always been in Dubai, in and out, and then thinking about Abu Dhabi. I think this is the most in my 15 years that I have spent time in Abu Dhabi, and now I can realize that how big this particular opportunity is and how Abu Dhabi is coming very much on the forefront of everything in relation to AI, in relation to wealth creation, in relation to hedge funds, the massive flows that we have experienced, and of course, the regulation part, which has always been very clear. So, very briefly about myself, more than 20 years, my wealth of experience, worked as a hedge fund trader for Bank of New York Mellon, Zay Capital, we do quant trading, we don't accept any external capital, purely its own proprietary capital, and I also own Golden Gate Public Relations. Starting from the far left-hand side, I would kindly ask Jigar to introduce yourself, how you are immersed and involved in the ecosystem, briefly for about 1 or 2 minutes, and from there onwards, we will walk all the way to the end. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks, Naeem. Pleasure to be here on the panel with the likes. So I'm a serial investor, serial entrepreneur, government advisor here in the UAE. Currently having a portfolio of over 30 plus companies, but have built over 100 plus ventures, valued at over $350 million at this point. And the journey is about creating value through entrepreneurship and building an ecosystem for entrepreneurship. So having deep dived into all aspects of support functions when it comes to startups, be it through funding or be it through my ventures, whether they range from marketing agencies to recruitment agencies, contact centers, software development agencies, to even running government operations in public-private partnerships in the form of operator of multiple free zones and economic zones here in the UAE. And the journey has just begun, because I think entrepreneurship is such a vast field that there is always something new to add to, and that's the journey I am on.
Thank you. Shadi.
Yeah, my name is Shadi Saloom. I'm the MENA Regional Director at XS.com. Basically, till October, I'm gonna be completing 15 years in the industry, helping brokers to build up, grow, and expand in MENA region specifically. Holding international certificate in wealth and investment management and financial advice, and many regional regulatory bodies like ESCA, Kuwait, and SISEC.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Bilal. I'm a finance strategist, currently heading the finance function for Hub 71, Abu Dhabi's global tech ecosystem. We currently incubate technology startups around different verticals: AI, blockchain, climate tech, and sector agnostics. So we provide access to market, access to capital, sovereign fund, funding to the technology startups. So in this space of Abu Dhabi, generally in the UAE, we are promoting and fostering the innovation and entrepreneurship. So personally, I've affiliated with Hub 71 for last 5 years. Before that was part of the Sovereign Fund, Mubadala Investment Company, heading the healthcare sector for the financial investments.
Thank you. Although most of the experience and most of the conference is about trading, it is about wealth creation, the opportunities within that one. But given the fact that we are in Abu Dhabi and we have Bilal and Jigar both on our panel, I do want to establish some baseline in terms of the ecosystem over in Abu Dhabi. Could you please walk us through the improvements, the developments that we have seen over here in Abu Dhabi, and how powerful the ecosystem has become? And we will have the same question for you, Jigar, in relation to that.
I'll take it. Abu Dhabi is at the forefront of innovation and entrepreneurship. the initiatives like Hub 71, Abu Dhabi Investment Office, ADGM, is promoting the entrepreneurship, innovations at its best. Right now, we have developed different frameworks, ease of business, regulations, which is fostering the entrepreneurship and the startups growth here in Abu Dhabi. Likewise, there has been an investment around 100 plus billions of dollars, which is being invested through ADGM and the portfolio companies.
So from my experience, when it comes to Abu Dhabi, it has played a crucial role when it comes to entrepreneurship, but it's not just in the form of the funding that it has brought to the table. It is also the kind of funding that it has brought to the segments and the sectors that they have brought that funding into. So access to capital has always been a challenge in this part of the world, whereby traditional family offices have run majority of the businesses, historically speaking. And now you're seeing that with certain initiatives and actual intent to target certain sectors, be it healthcare, for example, that you've seen recently where Abu Dhabi has gone strong. You can see entertainment industry being picked up, which was traditionally something that Abu Dhabi had shied away from. Now, having taken that into account, what's also changing in the landscape is that from a regulatory perspective, you're seeing more and more initiatives come out of Abu Dhabi, which were sort of leads that were coming out of Dubai back in the day. So for an example, I don't know if everyone's aware over here, the elimination of need for an Emirati or a local sponsor on your companies was first initiated at Abu Dhabi before it was adapted by Dubai. So that in itself allowed for people to have 100% ownership for the first time into their businesses over here in many ways.
That is certainly a very, very strong point, because I think if Saudi Arabia is going to go big, that is the area where we should certainly see a lot of changes. Shadi, over to you. Since you guys, we met you guys around the globe recently, your colleagues in Latam. Of course, every single brokerage company coming from the UK, the focus was, okay, the regulations are not relaxed enough for traders to do what they want to do. So traders started to move, a lot of flow started to move from there to the Middle East. And now from the Middle East, as you guys, your colleagues were in Latam in Mexico, have started to move on that particular side. Could you just give us an overall sense, like how the brokers are very much empowering the traders in Abu Dhabi and overall in the UAE as an ecosystem?
Basically, if we are talking about brokerage and trading in CFD's market in the past 10 years, it evolved drastically in terms of two lines. The first line is the regulation and what we had previously from multiple regulation bodies. And the second line, which is the technology provided by brokers and the innovation in relation with the fast-paced AI, artificial intelligence improvement in terms of financial markets. If we kind of cover the first part, I remember back in 2018, FCA in UK, the financial regulatory body, was tightening basically the regulations to face one emerging hazard, which is the risk appetite. We have seen a huge movement for the clients or investor appetite toward risk, chasing making instant income or instant money in a quick manner, which is available in the financial market and the brokerage side throughout our platform. It's something completely legitimate and you can do it. But in the same time, it carries a lot of risk, which is most of the clients are not aware of. As example, I have a certain amount of capital. I'm fine to risk it all in order to get a certain amount of profits, but this is not sustainable thing. Luckily, the regulatory bodies around the world, they spotted this early and they tightened the regulation and imposed a lot of restrictions on the gearing, the leveraging on the accounts. And this is a great initiative. And in parallel, in terms of brokerage, we strive on a constant basis, actually, to provide the best execution, the best spread, the best term and conditions in order for the investors to enter the market and make sustainable profits. In parallel, we launch a lot of educational material. If you want to approach a financial markets, there is a risk. The risk is always there. But how to encounter the risk, how to encounter the psychological part behind it, how to build your own strategy in order to make a long-run profit. So we have seen a lot of changes, and especially the spark was 2022 pandemic. A lot of, let's say, human beings found themselves out of jobs. They need instant income to survive, and we have seen a lot of businesses shut down, leaving a lot of workers out of job. So we have seen this spark or spike in a number of clients. They don't have any idea. They are not educated enough. They don't have the main concepts about how to invest, all those stuff. But they have to do something in order to make an instant income, but as much as possible sustainable. So this is where everything starts. I believe regulatory bodies, especially in DFSA in Dubai and FSRA in Abu Dhabi and CMA in Saudi Arabia, they are working constantly to make more improvement in regulation and make everything clear, so all the clients aware of how to participate or to trade with a broker in a legal, professional manner.
You know, speaking about attraction and speaking about wealth momentum, I don't know if you guys have read the main headline on Bloomberg today. Two of the biggest real estate investors, and they're very, very big name in the UK, and then the Bloomberg broke the story. They've decided to leave the UK because of the rules and the stringent policies and the red tapes and everything else is there. Sadly, I mean, the place where we come from, it is not such a great news, and we can only hope for the best with the fact of automation coming into place. And that's very much bring my next question in focus with you, Jagar. Given the fact, you know, with GITEX, with one of the major theme used to be about AI innovation. And I would say that was the crown jewel for GITEX, the AI innovation. Abu Dhabi took over, and I was part of that particular event. So how is that automation and AI is shaping the future for Abu Dhabi, for the Middle East, and creating examples for the rest of the world at the same time? So starting from you, and the same question for you afterwards.
Right. So I think there is a valid and a purposeful intent from the government side, be it in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, or even on a federal level, just as UAE, when it comes to the push for innovation, the push for adaptation of technology and digitization. And what we are seeing now emerging is that the terminology AI is not just being thrown around like a fashion statement. You're seeing the true use cases of, be it RPA, be it machine learning, be it the underlying mechanisms, whether it's the blockchain ledger concept of storing data, right, which is allowing your data to be more secure. Ultimately, all this has been packaged into the fancy terminology, which we call AI, because we as human beings love marketing. But at the end of the day, today on a ground level, what we are seeing is that the businesses that are willing to adapt in a sensible way, by first looking at their own business practices, looking at their own workflows, looking at their own processes, and then seeing where can they bring in efficiencies using these new technologies. Rather than saying, I have a business and I want to throw the lipstick of AI on top of it. So I think that is that educational curve that has happened in the society, at least over here. In aspect to the global audience, they're still lagging behind. I feel like apart from a few cities, Dubai, Abu Dhabi have led from the front. Also, what this has enabled is that the market is now all of a sudden open for the businesses out here. You're no longer tied into the trade routes or your neighboring countries or just the GCC market. When you are a tech platform, a trading platform, all of a sudden you could be a company operating out of this region, out of this country, but your audience is global. And true businesses in today's day and age will only succeed if they are able to cater to the global audience rather than to the regional audience. If you think about the nature of this country, it's a testament to that. Because be it Emirates Airlines, be it Dubai Airport, be it Abu Dhabi Airport, be it Etihad Airlines, these were never created to cater to the local audience, right? I mean, if you just think about the capacity of these ventures that I've told you, if you think about the size of the champions that have been created, whether it's in the real estate side of things, healthcare side of things, they've all been created with an intent to export. We are exporting tourism by bringing in tourists. We're exporting investment by bringing in companies and ventures.
Thank you.
I would like to take you guys back in 2018 when Sam Altman started OpenAI. His first tour was specifically to Abu Dhabi. He was landed to Abu Dhabi for his first international tour. So this shows the government, the leadership of UAE intent into the AI. MGX is another example how the government and the initiatives is being taken seriously. At Hub 71 also, we have a specific Hub 71 Plus AI, which is curated, have a curated program promoting the AI startups, AI technology companies. We have a specific fund which directly invests into the AI startups. Namely, when we started, we have the first partnership with NVIDIA, with OpenAI. So these are the main initiatives taken by the Abu Dhabi government and in general the UAE leadership.
You know, throughout this week in Dubai, there's obviously this AI week taking place. And if you go onto the website, one of the segments which really inspired me was about inviting schools, inviting children for their training to learn about the AI, because they are the one who are going to shape the future. So whether you're going to go put them through the traditional education or whether you're going to put them actually on the hands-on experience is very much so. A good friend of mine, his children, they don't go to school, they are 12 years old, and every time I'm in Dubai, I'm amazed to go to his place. Last time I was there, and I said, what are they learning on? He goes, they're learning to make how to detect a deep fake video. So this is an amazing. So Shadi, with that aspect, thinking about the young generation, bridging the gap from that one, from a broker's point of view, what sort of a platform, ecosystem are you building to attract that audience into the wealth creation generation era that we are about to see?
Before we dive into that point, let me elaborate on one thing related to AI when it comes to the brokerage side. Basically, because it was the main purpose of such events and the expos is to elaborate more on the new trends emerging, whether it's good or bad, basically to make investor more aware where to get the advice or financial things. There is a new trend emerging related to AI, especially on Telegram, by the way, which is AI-generated technical analysis, AI-generated signals, all those stuff. Most of those channels are fake, and we are trying to spread awareness whenever we are presented and in each event, because such thing is not simple. It's need a lot of efforts, need a lot of working behind it, and a lot of analysis in order to provide such a thing. Talking about bridging the gap when it comes to the brokerage side between the investors and the market and the brokers, basically in XS, for example, we have lately launched what is called XSEI. It is not. It is not an advice. It is not a magical solution that will give you the constant base to make a constant money and to make constant profit. What this AI basically is doing is whenever you are increasing number of entry and exit in the market and positions, it will capitalize on your behavior. He's telling you when you are over trading, when you are not trading as it should be, and it analyzes over 10 aspects. It doesn't give you an advice. AI doesn't give you an advice. He doesn't know. It's like a human being. It's developed by human beings at the end of the day. He doesn't know where the market is going. But he is capitalizing on the statistical data he's analyzing over a long period of time that we can't do it as a human being. And based on that, he is giving recommendations. Those recommendations might be false, might be right, but it is elaborating and it is worth to build up and work based on those recommendations. This is one of the main lines. The second line is trying to provide, let's say, sustainable and safe environment to trade. This is one of the essentials because nowadays we are receiving a lot of questions related, what is your spread, what is your account type, what is your leverage, while we should receive questions like where are you regulated, where are you based, what is the regulation framework that you are working with. Those concepts I was hearing like 10 years ago. Nowadays, no, it's all about just entering quick. Okay, what is your account opening requirement? You need to do with the usual KYC. I mean, opening account, fill the economic profile, providing POR. Can I do it without POR? Where are you entering? Which world you are living in? You need to make sure that you are sticking to the broker, that fulfilling the regulatory requirements in order to enter to the market in a safely manner. Because making money is secondary thing, but keeping your money is the main line. I'm here to grow my money, to make more investment, to make sustainable income, not here to just facing extra difficulties. So this is what we are trying to build on, especially in such events, spreading awareness, what is new emerging in terms of technology that we are using, but mainly educational purposes.
I'm going to put you on the spot. In relation to this access.ai, what are the learnings and the findings have you guys accumulated for your traders through this particular software, which tells you that you are over trading or you are under trading, which is all part of the psychology of trading?
It is basically entering into a trade as a normal trader. It is a common, our well-known rule of thumb. You're entering more into the market, that means you are trying to overachieve the market. This is one of maybe the cons that most of traders are doing, especially whenever there is a news. As example, in the first of the day, let's say 7, 8 a.m., I woke up, I check all the news.
Do you see the results on the platform that someone is learning from the mistakes?
No.
No? So
No.
still, okay, so it's still early stages.
Still, we are trying to build up this knowledge and try to spread the awareness of how to use it, how to capitalize on it in a professional way. This is very important because in the end of the day, it doesn't provide you a solution. It is analysis. There is a lot of, let's say, websites. We are talking about like FX Pro, for instance. They will give you all the analysis related, but it is the surface analysis, not deep analysis. When you are, as example, trading 50, 40, 30, 40, 50 position per day, that means you are over trading. You are maybe trying to overcome a psychological part or something like this. So this is one of the parts.
After the fact is the great information that anyone can get. And this is where I'm going to dive into the next part, and then this is going to be for both of you too. Obviously, given what is happening in the geopolitical space around the globe, oil prices are clearly seeing a dramatic impact. The UAE as a whole, as a region, obviously oil has been one of the major backbone for revenue, or And now the diversification process started from that one. And the data, the statistics, you can read any of the particular reports, as Jagar has already mentioned. There's a more export. They're thinking about the more major global economies to serve them and to cater them. Apart from the AI and automation trends, given the fact that you guys are incubators and then you have that ecosystem, what important other areas, apart from AI and automations, are there for investors for wealth creation? It's going to be the same question for you as well. Bilal, starting with you.
So, with the starting of the Abu Dhabi focused, or the UAE was focused on diversification of economy, the plan started in 2012 when the oil market started getting a slump, and we started building the plans for diversifying Abu Dhabi and UAE economy from oil-based economy to the knowledge-based economy. Technology, real estate, and tourism was the forefront of it. Right now, other than the technology space, UAE itself is promoting the space around the real estate sector, which is predominantly the heaviest investment in terms of FDI, in terms of the capital allocation, is the major role in the investment area.
I think from a perspective of the government, they have just pretty much picked up a book and what should a city be, and adapted it to the whole country. They said, well, a great city needs health, education, entertainment, safety, and security. That's your HEESS. And they said, how do we go and be the best in class in each of this aspect? Now, while we are sitting here, we have to be mindful of how new this country is. While we are sitting here, we have to be mindful that the best university in the UAE is still only ranked 263 in the world. If you think about the number of unicorns out of UAE, it's just 11 in compared to the 100 plus out there. However, that doesn't let them stay back. It's only encouraging the leadership out here to push forward. So the vision is very clear. We are not here to be number two. We do not have any intention in playing second. We want to be the best at what we do. And that means you're going to see healthcare, education, entertainment, safety, and security being the best in this country. So if you were to look at investing, I would say focus on that segment or those segments, because ultimately that's where they're heading.
Bilal, sorry.
Yeah. To add on those further sectors, recently UAE has launched 3 main clusters, which was biotech, space tech, and aerospace. So these are the 3 main sectors currently, which is future agnostic, and the government is looking into the investment in these areas. One of which was announced last week, which is Helm cluster. We are looking into the biotech and the health tech sectors for the capital allocation into the manufacturing and the new pharmaceuticals.
Shadi, I want you to start thinking and dwelling into your experience. And I'm going to come back to you, but I'm going to go to Bilal for one more thing before that. Earlier, you mentioned health tech as a sector creating a lot of huge waves in the industry. Could you give me some examples of some of the startups, some of the scale-ups, or even growth skills companies coming from here or coming from abroad making difference in that area? Perhaps health tech, for me as an investor in the equity market, remains the most important area after AI automation. What trends do you see in the UAE, especially in Abu Dhabi, within the ecosystem that you're involved in?
I'll start with one of our successful startup, which is Biosapien. Currently has raised 100 plus of millions of dirhams. The current trend into the technology, combining the healthcare and technology sector together, and it's more on the predictive side. the earlier detection of the diseases using the AI models, using the robo advisory. So current landscape is more to leverage the technology with the healthcare sector in terms of oncology diagnostics, predictive analysis of the healthcare side. Yeah.
And you know what? I think the most amount of people that I see wearing Whoop is actually in the Middle East. And it's just like, it's inspiring to see that how the whole generation, everyone has just changed into that one, into this particular set of mind, that diagnostics, equipment, having detection of the diseases that you know very well you are going to have because of your genetics, but you can change your diet, you can adopt, you can gain that, is a way for longevity. As an investor, for wealth creation, that is an area for you to go and start looking at those particular technologies which are very much playing the forefront of that one. Though, one second.
So for that, I just wanted to add one more point. Like Abu Dhabi's genome program is one of the world's largest genome sample testing in the world. So this is how genetic and predictive analysis is being taken seriously by the leadership of UAE.
So speaking and then thinking from the same particular set of mind, the thinking that everyone in this particular area is ahead of the curve. They wanted to protect that particular disease, which they are bound to have it because it is in your genes. For example, diabetes is in my genes. I can reduce the intake of that one. So going back to the brokers side of these things, I wanted to take the conversation there. How do you see the retail brokerage environment, the ecosystem evolving from your, if you can divulge anything from your experience? I'm going to give you a minute or two because this question is off the script. Not that we had the script, but from your experience, how do you see that particular area evolving in the future for that particular mentality of the people that you think?
So basically, I'm sort of between my small circle. I'm famous of crazy ideas, basically. Trying to think differently in order to achieve some objectives. One of the craziest ideas I had in mind, like now, what we are doing as investors, as clients, I look for certain investment, I search for the options. Out of those options, I choose the most recommended one. I visit their website, I check the services, what they are providing, what they are doing, and based on that, I took my decision and maybe invest or something like this. What if we can do all of this using sort of AI or a 3D environment website, as example, like putting the glasses or putting the cap, walk into the website and check everything by my hands?
I'm not clear. Just go a little bit deeper. It sounds very interesting.
Okay. Actually, we had this type of experiences before. It is interesting. Back, if I'm not mistaken, 2021, because of the emerging of the pandemic, and we had to do sort of expo related to the brokerage side. It was back in Jordan, if you remember. So we have done a virtual website where I walk in my virtual expo. The organizer done everything. Meeting room, you can talk with each other. We can fix the deals. It was interesting, but still lack a lot of improvement because 5 years ago AI and artificial intelligence was not that developed yet until what we had now. But it was something sparking some future innovation related to this one. But imagine everything like done virtually. I trade virtually. I see the stock in front of me moving it. It's more interesting, more engaging, more entertaining, and providing a lot of information that you might not be aware of. It's like playing a chess game. If you are watching from up, you are seeing all the board, but if you are sitting in front of your opponent, there is a lot of corner you are missing. It's completely the same story here. This is one of the craziest ideas. I remember second crazy ideas that we can capitalize on as example. As a part of my job as a regional director, I look for a brand awareness, how to capitalize on our brand, how to spread our brand from marketing perspective. I thought of the influencers. What is the main line? The influencer, we go to the influencer because they are dominating the social media basically, and we ask them for collaboration, spread our name, spread our activities. How to make the influencer come to us? Instead, we go to them. So I thought of why we don't make influencer stock exchange. You influencer have stocks. Everyone can trade. Your stocks will be evaluated based on your views, your videos, your comments, your engagement activities, and actually clients can trade those stocks through our platforms. I've done all the research, I've done everything related to that. Then the last point, is this idea existed? Yes, it was. You will be surprised like how we have evolved as a human beings, covering each and every aspect. Like there is literally nothing to think about. Maybe AI with the guys can help us in the future. Maybe the AI can help us improve our way of thinking and creating more creative things. And this is some funny examples, interesting to talk about when it comes to our, let's say, small domain related to the brokerage.
Right. I wanted to add to Shadi's idea over there of the virtual reality. Shadi, you might be interested because just a few months ago, I invested in a company which actually provides exactly what you just said, but in a much more evolved Web3 version of virtual reality / metaverse, whereby you can come into a virtual world, conduct transactions, have your documentation and see each other and conduct your board meetings, presentations, graph, the virtual expo can be showcased. So maybe this is something we can take offline.
Sure. We're pretty much coming towards the end of this particular panel. We've got just a couple of minutes. And one thing that I would like to add to this one is, you know, there was an era, I started trading in 2008. This is when I graduated from the university. So this is a long time ago. You know, we used to just look at the balance sheets and then trying to figure out what to predict about the earnings. But the way that these two have said, things changed, especially with the evolution of social media platforms. If you are wearing Crocs just as your shoes, you can know this actual sales if you just follow the hashtags for Crocs or anything within that one ahead of the earnings and then look at the trends. Or even go into Google and then look at the trends that how that particular hashtag or that word is trending. Gives you some sort of an idea from the social platforms if this particular trend is going to have a positive impact or is it going to have a negative impact on those particular ones. So this is like, you know, many companies are doing this sort of sentiment analysis. Now, I'm just going to have a quick firing round of some questions with these guys. I'm going to see what their view is about. And I know, Jigar, you will have a slightly different view because you are involved in a different ecosystem. But with Shadi and with Bilal, nothing is a recommendation. It's all purely educational and entertainment purpose only. And I wanted to make that clear. Will we see another high for Bitcoin for this year in terms of wealth creation?
I don't think so.
Okay.
We all love to see this.
Okay.
I think if there are enough people out there willing to go down that trend, yeah. But ultimately, I would rather see those people in Vegas. It's more fun out there.
Okay. What about the audience? If you, raise your hand if you think there will be another all-time high for Bitcoin for this year. And I can tell you something. ARK, BlackRock, Fidelity, and few other institutions just in the last 72 hours are heavily investing. The ecosystem, and this is only my personal view, not an investment advice, the ecosystem is as strong as it can be from the fundamentals perspective. And as of yesterday, another company called Capital 21, backed by Tether and backed by SoftBank backed by Fitzgerald, created another competitor for a company called MicroStrategy, which you all would know. Do you know how many Bitcoins MicroStrategy owns on its balance sheets right now? 538. This particular company is going to start with a 42,000 as the only competitor in the whole space, backed by, again, by SoftBank and Tether. That is a huge, huge opportunity. I think I always learn one thing from the markets in the 20 years of experience. If you wanted to buy when everyone is panicking, buy when the fundamentals are the strong. The sentiment is at its lowest level ever. And I think we are in one of those particular times. I wholeheartedly wanted to thank you to my panelists who helped us to create this particular panel for today. Please put your hands together for esteemed panelists.